Kinta Sakata, the problem with annoyance. Kinta is a character with a whole lot of drama, and someone who is not only very hated for things that he has done throughout the series, but there are people that want to defend him as well. So there's things to bash him, there's also things to defend him with what people bash him for. Character that's had a lot of cool moments, but the reason he isn't loved are many. But I genuinely believe it's for one reason. The reason Kinta is more hated is not because he's a pervert, it's not because of his design, it's because he's annoying. Before I begin, I would appreciate if you guys like and subscribe for more anime, manga, and general fictional content. It's small updates that I'm back in college, so more uploads will be regular. And I do thank you all for the support that you guys have been giving me throughout my entire journey with YouTube. With that, I hope you all enjoy. Dandadan is a very popular anime in the modern era, and has done very well as a lot of anime fans have enjoyed it. Of course, because of its simplistic plot and great animation, this anime took the world by storm. Dandadan, while being fun to watch, has a huge problem, and that would be its characters. While I have argued in the past that it could be deeper, the author seems to be struggling with his characters. While I have defended these characters in the past, the characters in Dandadan are fairly weak, at least in terms of writing, since there's nothing much that makes them great. There are many good characters that are fun to watch. The issue is that there's no great character, which is why whenever we see a character that isn't as good or is a little worse, it makes them look a lot worse than they actually are. So there's so many people defending Kinta and are supporters of him for the same reason. He's the least effective of the group, but to say he's awful, that's just a lie. But to say he's a good character, that's also a lie. He's a mediocre character, but what makes him a problem is how annoying he is. There are many fans that attack Kinta because he is a pervert. And while I do understand that this is the case, and I do understand that it can be annoying, it is a normal joke that goes around in other anime. But because this is the way he first gets introduced, it just makes his start very bitter. Now, while Kinta might not be the first pervert that gets introduced in this way, and that there are other characters like Master Roshi that was easily introduced as a pervert, but the issue is that Master Roshi has had significance throughout the story, which makes him better than what he is. And while the bitter start at the beginning of the story in OG Dragon Ball, it later on gets fixed, and his character, while yes, a little pervy, it's not little, he's definitely pervy, but his character has adapted so much that that's not his only characteristic. While this is the main worry, there are still more complaints about his character. The other big complaint is the design, and while the design isn't going to be popular, it doesn't have to be as hated as he is. He's a bigger character, in the literal sense, since he is bigger in weight, but that's not the problem that I have with his design. Unlike everyone else in this series, my main problem with Kinta is that he doesn't have an impactful design. Of course, there's one character that I do have as well that is tied with him as at least impactful design as well, and she is a worse character than he is. But she doesn't have as many impactful moments, which is why her design makes sense. Of course, talking about Kinta, his design is not impactful. So when he does impactful things, it just doesn't make any sense. At least in that literal term, and that's why I don't like his design. His design is not bad because he's big. His design is bad because everyone else has an impactful design outside of one character. But most characters have impactful designs that are not him, and that's what makes his design a lot worse than everyone else. It wouldn't be a problem if Kinta is an irrelevant side character, but the fact he continued to have important moments makes his design seem worse than what it is. For Kinta, he is supposed to be a joke character, a comedic character in which he gets in there and makes jokes. Or he does something serious that is very significant to the plot. A lot of people like to argue that Kinta is supposed to be a character that people can fit into, a character that people understand and relate to him. Honestly, for his character, there is no significant writing, and honestly, it is very poorly written for someone to be in the main core of characters. Even in comparison to someone like Zuma, he has had anything that has made his character more significant. I mean, he's not only someone who doesn't change, he also doesn't change others. He doesn't add anything significant for the story, and maybe in the future he will develop, but for now, he's a comedic character that adds zero significance. Out of all the characters in this show, he just hasn't had anything. Well, that's a lot. Because Reen is worse, and she has had nothing. The only thing she's had is a sad backstory. And while, yes, you can argue that's more than Kinta, I can at least understand the comedic parts. Reen, outside the backstory, has nothing, really. And that's why I don't like her character. She is the worst character in the series. I could go over that in the future. Either way, the dislike for Kinta is there because he doesn't add anything. For those defending him, saying that he's the most relatable, I want to question, is he so relatable that you make pervy jokes anytime you see a girl? Now, I do understand trying to fit in and talking like they do, but when the others don't do that, why continue? Notice how when he did it at first, it was because the others were talking about Ken's balls and he thought that he would fit in, but they don't reciprocate those jokes. It just makes things worse and completely ruins the vibe. If I were to question you about why would you continue to make jokes that nobody in the group is laughing and reciprocating, why would you continue to try to fit in that way when nobody is looking at it the same way? I understand making jokes and trying to fit in with people by speaking the way they do, talking the way they do, joking the way they do, but when they don't do it back to you or they don't laugh at your jokes, there's something wrong going on, and you should realize, hey, this is not normal. Let me reel it back. That's why Kenta making these same old jokes again and again and again and again and again just ruins it for his character. Because while I do understand he's trying to fit in, he doesn't understand the room that he's in because nobody is laughing at his jokes. So I question you, how is he relatable? Because as a human being, we would understand, hey, they're not laughing at my jokes. I'm not fitting in with them. Not only that, but in the beginning of him joining the group, nobody liked him at all. Yet he still joined. Overall, he's just an annoying character who continues to make the same jokes over and over again. Not only that, but he simps for women that have no feelings for him at all. Even the girl that he saved shows no emotions towards him, and is just a goofball with Gigi. Everything he does is a complete L, and ruins the moment when characters are together. The best part of Kinta is that he always is with the group, even when they try to kick him out, and it does make some comedic moments funny. But mostly what makes him great is how smart he is. The smart decision he makes throughout the story, at least to help out the main group, and that's why he officially became a part of the main group. Not because he forced himself in, but because he started using his smarts, and that's when the group realized how important he is. I would hate him more if Reen didn't exist because of the fact that Tatu tries to push these characters that not only have boring character designs, but don't add anything to the story, and just makes things worse for everyone. Honestly, with all that being said, the main problem with Kinta is that he's an annoying character, someone who continues to ruin moments with people especially. Now, while he does have cool fights with his suit, it still makes it worse for him because they act like he's an insignificant character with that design, but they continue to push him out and show that he's way more important than he should be. These are my problems with Kinta. Not only that, but he has no development. Even with his design, the weight is not a problem because I love Sakamoto's design from Sakamoto days. Even though he's a bigger person as well, but he pops. His white hair showing his significance as a character, the glasses showing his past life, his outfit showing how he regressed or progressed into becoming a soft guy for his family, all of these design choices make his design great. Kinta's is just a boring school outfit with boring hair and boring design in general. And that's why he sucks. For Kinta to be more significant, he needs a small redesign, at least in his outfit, if anything, because he's too bland for the story. For writing, he needs development, enough for his character to learn and adapt, or help grow others. Not only that, but he should have something as to why he works so hard to protect his friends. Now, it could be love, but that feels a little off, and that he needs to do something more. Something that makes Kinta even more special than what he is. This is why Kenta Sakata is a problem with annoyance. Hopefully he changes and becomes something special, because I can genuinely see him changing and adapting. The main problem with Dandadan are that these characters aren't changing at all, and while most have great backstories, they still need to develop more, and Tatu should continue to evolve these characters because that's a problem he's having now. I will be going over character analysis on these characters, but most won't be very special. Only ones that are special are probably Ken, Momo, Gigi, and Araya. The others are very bad and need more development. Even Bamola, who I think has a fantastic backstory, which I do recommend y'all read, or I could drop an arc review in the future and go over it. If y'all want to, let me know in the comment section down below, because that's genuinely an idea that I'm thinking of doing. Her development hasn't been much. She has developed to become nicer and become a better character, and while that is higher than everyone else, it isn't Momo, Gigi, Ken, and Araya. Either way, these characters aren't even that special anyways, because at best they can be B tier. And I hope that Tatu develop these characters more, because I like these characters. I don't want them to be boring. I want them to adapt and develop throughout the story, or if not, they develop others around them. And while most of the main characters are adapting and changing and developing into becoming good characters, B tier is the highest I have them, and I see that as a problem. I hope Tatu evolves because this series can be great, but it needs more.